Hello everyone, welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith, and we are playing through a Skewed perspective. We are in the, what I think to be final rounds. We'll probably need a few more videos or so to get through it. But one thing that was brought up by one of my subscribers, S. Ham, was a very valid point. And it says at the very back of the, it says at the end of a paragraph here that the prophet cannot enter or pass through doors. So that's something we have to keep in mind. Now we're okay because the prophets are essentially the cultists in this situation, and they reside here and they reside here. Neither of them are in the doorway yet or passing through it. So this is as far as they'll move. They essentially will stop here at each spot, and it's going to be up to me to try to split my party up to kill both of them. So I'm really glad he brought that up, because I might have accidentally at some point started moving this guy through the hallway. That was like one sentence, a one-liner that I like just overlooked. So I'm really glad he spoke up and mentioned that. But we're ready to go. So shuffled everything I need to. We're ready to rock. So let's pick our first two things. Now, just so you guys know, strategy-wise, the Tinker for me has the most movement. I'm going to be sending him as fast as humanly possible down to their end. And then I'm going to be having the Craighart kind of hang out in this area. Now, the funny thing is that the cultists actually can only do melee attacks. So the great thing about it is they can't come out the door. And the only way they're going to attack me is to, well, the cultists are bad because they can spawn things. So if they spawn something, like if something comes out of this deck up here, and that happens to be a spawn card, then we're in big trouble. And if that so happens, then, you know, things can kind of get dicey, I guess. That'll be interesting. We'll see how that pans out. But hopefully not. Hopefully not. That'll be what we have to fight. We want to keep ourselves distanced from them so they can never attack us, and then just kind of keep hitting them at the door. Because essentially the rules state, the rules don't state that they're going to stay put where they originally were in the scenario, but they won't pass through doors or land on the door. So they'll stay exactly where they are because they're as close as they're ever going to get to anybody. And that's about it. So let's pick our cards. For the Tinker, we obviously want to heal and we want to run. So the biggest ones to use most likely for now would probably be 62 and probably 37 as a decent heal combo. That'll get myself ready as I run. Also remembering that I have the boots of, you guys remember, Sterling. No, it should be Boots of Striding, but I've changed the name. It is now Boots of Sterling. They also cause blindness. That token is currently in production and is not part of Gloomhaven, so, but it will be. And I'm totally joking. So for those of you who don't know the inside joke, I used the Boots of Sterling comment on a prior video, and I've been harassed for it ever since. But now it's actually stuck, and I kind of like it. So I'm going to continue calling them the Boots of Sterling, even though it's wrong. So anyway, we're going to use those boots, and we're going to head as fast as possible that way. Then we're going to have the Craighart do the same thing, but just he's going to use his boots to maybe back up to here and get this coin. Then he'll stay here and maybe take pot shots or even just heal. So that wouldn't be a bad idea. So we want healing. Healing is 29, so that would give us a really strong heal. So that's solid. And then I don't know, in terms of anything else, there's not really much else I'm going to want to do, because again, attacking him is useless at this point. Because remember, at the end of every single round, as it states here in this manual, it says, at the end of each round, remove damage from the more damage of the two cultists. So that's really annoying. So there's no point in hitting him for damage because it just automatically gets wiped off automatically. We have to get the exact same amount of damage, or at least up to a certain level that we can keep a certain amount of damage on them, right? And we got to be wary of that. So there's no point in spending big attacks right now on him, so it's better just to kind of burn cards, which is inconvenient, I guess. We know the Craighart could potentially go before the Sentinel Growth, and this would allow me to attack him and also get some healing. So this might be worth it this time to attack him and then also be able to heal the Tinker at the same time. And being that I'm going before him on the initiative of 29 versus 37, that could be a good strategic move. So we'll pick those two. So now we're going to flip for our cards. The Living Spirit, there's only one left. He's way up there. He's 33. And then the cultists are going to go at 63. Okay, good. So they're very late. Oh, look, guys. They're going to summon the normal living bones. Now, we remember from back before, the special rules for the scenario is that they're going to summon normal living spirits instead of normal living bones. So that's going to be a little problematic. The good thing is they suffer some damage, so that's good. So they're kind of hurting themselves at the same time. So what we need to do is we need to begin the round. We'll begin with the one that has the earliest initiative, and that is going to be the Craighheart. So the Craighheart is going to use his boots of striding, or sterling as I like to call them, and he's going to back up. Now actually it does say, sorry, that you have to use this as during your movement. You can add 2 to your move, so I won't, I guess, be using that because you have to use it while you're moving, and I don't really need any additional movement right now, so I'm fine with doing this one, which just allows me to go like this. I'm going to end up getting this coin regardless, so I'm going to take this now, put this in my area. So this card is, shoot, no, I wanted to heal. Ooh, change my mind, hold on a second, got to think about this. No, it's okay, actually. It's an area I could attack like this area here, and it would affect everything here, and I can stay this far back. I would be disadvantaged. There's a wall there, so that's a little bit interesting. Yeah, I'll just sit here and do that. I know that whatever damage I put on him is going to go away anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the heal 4. So we're definitely going to jump him up to 9 just so that he's prepared for any damage. The leaf element's going to go all the way up to the strong column, and this card is now gone. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to do an attack 2, heal 2, and I'm going to just attack this area right here. I am technically adjacent to him, although it's kind of weird because there's technically a wall here. So essentially, being that there's a wall there, I can still draw a line from that corner to that corner, so I can still technically hit him, and even still I can attack any of those 3 spots, so I'll attack any of these 3 right here, so I'm fine. It's going to be a legitimate hit, but I will be disadvantaged because he is beside me and it's a ranged attack. So it's an attack 2. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to flip this to see what we add to it. Cultists don't have any shields. Oh, looks like we got to push. So we are going to push, and remember, this is optional. We don't have to. And then we're going to go ahead and +2. Nice. Not that it matters too much, but we got 4 damage on him. So 4 damage on the cultist, and it's an elite, so it's going to be on number 1. So it's going to go up here. So we got 4 on him right now, and then I'm choosing not to actually push him because, to me, strategically, I don't want to push him any further away. There's no real reason for it, per se. Yeah, no, that's fine. I'll leave him there. Yeah, I'll leave him there. And then that's essentially it. And then I get to heal. So I get to heal the Tinker. So the Tinker's going to go up to 8. That's awesome. So it gets a little bit of a benefit out of that. And then this is essentially discarded. So that's good. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the Living Spirits. The Living Spirit, there is only 1. He's going to move regular, but he's a regular unit, so he moves 3. He's going to go 1, 2, 3. He can move, and there's no restrictions on him coming after us. He has to be within range of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 to hit us. He cannot, so he's not going to be able to attack. And he targets all enemies within range, but he cannot do that this time, so that's good. Then we move over to the Tinker. Now the Tinker wants to get to this side of the board as fast as humanly possible. So he's going to go ahead and do this. He's going to heal 3. He's going to boost the Tinker to level 3. He's now fully healed back to his regular level, which is awesome. So this is going to be discarded. Then we're going to go ahead and move. And at this point, I'm going to use my Boots of Striding. And we're going to add 2 extra. That's going to get him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You might as well go right beside him, seeing as he's a ranged character. And we'll take the coin, so that's nice little bonus there. And then this is going to go away. So he's already all the way to the side of that hallway, so that's pretty good. Then we're going to go ahead with the Cultist. Now the Cultists are going to do something annoying. So when it says summon normal living bones, they're actually going to end up being the living spirits is what they're going to be pulling out of their hat. So these 2 are going to spawn, and based on the spawns, they're going to enter the board. Now there's already a card pulled for them. So because a card has already been pulled for that particular character, we don't need to, but they would initiate right away from what I'm understanding. I just want to make 100% sure that I get that correct. So let me just take a look at the summoning rules to be 100% sure, because the summoning thing always throws me. Spawning. When a monster is spawned, it is set up on the map. Set up on the map at its spawning location or nearest the empty hex. So we know as normal we can go to empty hex anywhere besides. So I could have this guy show up here, which I will. And I'll put this guy right here. These guys can go through doors, so we're okay with that. And then it says when the monster is spawned, set up on the map's nearest to the empty hex location. If a monster is spawned at the end of the round, so this would actually be the end of the round. it will begin to activate on the following round. So these guys will not activate right now because this was the end of the round. So that's good. Now the other thing that's really cool is that the cultists actually suffer 2 damage. So the cool thing is, because they suffered 2 damage evenly, we're actually going to have some leftover damage on them in the end. So we got the first cultist now has 6 damage. The second one over here has 2. And then we have the scenario effect, which says at the end of every round, we have to compare the damage between the 2 cultists, and everything's wiped away between them except what's equal. So essentially there's 2 damage on the number 2 cultist. So only 2 damage is allowed to remain on the first cultist. So the rest of it just kind of automatically heals. Kind of a pain, but at least we got something on them. And thank goodness for this card. And that's essentially it. So we have some shuffling to do. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I'll do it with these living spirits. Now we've got the board that's got a little bit more things on it. And this is kind of where things can get ugly, because these living spirits are actually pretty nasty. Like you can see, their character cards, as we've shown in prior videos, they have shields. And even though they're normal, they're really a pain to deal with. So hopefully the cultists are not going to summon any more of them, because this is going to continually get worse and worse for me as we go along. So what's going to be really important is trying to hammer the cultists with really high amounts of damage, because we know they don't have any shields, and the cultists can't take that type of pain and suffering. So we're going to put it on them really bad and hope that we can survive it. So here we go. We're ready to go. We'll pick our 2 cards. We have to wane things down. So the leaf and the night symbols the night symbol's in inert column, and the leaf element is in the waning now. So what do we do? Okay, well, we got to think about what our options are. The Craighheart hasn't been attacked just yet. When he does, he's got 1 more retaliation worth of 2 damage he can put on him, so that's good. This guy might end up attacking him. Now, in terms of hitting the cultists, the only way that this Tinker can get within range is to go 1, 2, and then he can make a attack against the cultists. These guys are going to become a pain to deal with for sure. It might be good to use like the net shooter attack. And the reason is because not only is it an area of effect, but I can hit both. So that's a good idea. Plus it's a decent sized damaged attack, and immobilizes most of them, which is good. Now I want to get up really close to them, but not too close so that I'm disadvantaged. So I'd probably stop here and then shoot them from there. So I just need movement that'll get me up to, I just need 2 movement essentially. So in terms of generating 2 movement, probably, sorry about that, guys. Almost choked and died there. Want to keep the attack 2 for later. Want to keep the attack 3 for later for sure. Sorry, I'm just going to take a drink here so I don't die. Okay, perfect. And then, let's see, move to, let's go. Ooh, this is tougher, much tougher decision. I want to keep the hook gun because at some point I'm going to be able to pull back this damage 6 attack. That's going to be pretty nasty. But I still need to generate movement. What card is the best to get rid of? I want to keep this because that's a crazy huge damage attack that I can pair up with the Craighheart. So let's pick stun. Let's do this. Let's do this one. I don't think I'm going to be needing that much movement anyway. So that's going to be the Tinker's kind of combo. And then for the Craighheart, what do we got here? Still has his boots, still has his bomb. Hey, the bomb's not bad. So I could step back and I could take a shot at them and hit both. That wouldn't be a bad idea. I just need something with range, and therein lies the problem. So as of right now, I have 2 melee attack cards, but nothing with range. So I can't use this attack just yet, which is kind of unfortunate because they are kind of are jumbled up together. But what I could do is do this. This one says move adjacent single hex obstacle to empty hex within range 4, attack 2, target all enemies adjacent to the move. So this is, or I could just do a generic attack 2 always. I can always do a generic attack 2, which wouldn't be bad. Oh, I can do an attack 3 and do a push. Let's do that and we'll kill this guy. So I'm going to put that one down, and then I'll do a loot 1. And if we get lucky, no, that doesn't really help me. I'll use the 43. Oh, this is tough. Okay, guys, this is going to be interesting. So let's see. So we got a 43, we got a 19. We're going to go ahead and flip. Please don't be anything terrible. 22. Uh-oh, that's early. And then no more summoning. Oh my gosh, we got another summon. Oh my gear. Okay, so we're going to go ahead with the Tinker first. So let's just get him into the way. So the Tinker is going to go now. The Tinker is going to move 4, but we don't need to move that far. We're just going to go 1, 2, and that's good enough. Then I'm going to go ahead and use the net shooter attack. I'm just going to target both of these guys. It's going to mobilize them. I'm going to get 2 XP for hitting both of them. I get to shoot them. I don't. There's no disadvantage, so that's a plus. So I'll go after number 3. He doesn't have any damage on him yet, but it's an attack 3, so it's a pretty solid attack, and we'll kind of see what happens. +2, nice. So 2 damage actually ends up getting through, so that's good. So we get 2 damage on the, oh, it was almost enough to kill him too. That's too bad. So the Living Spirit now has, because with 2 plus the 3 is 5, take away his 2 shield is 3. Oh, wait, did I just kill him? 3 plus 2 is 5, take away 2 shields. Yeah, I did. Okay, I smoked him. That's awesome. He's gone, never mind. I thought I only put 2 damage on him. He is dead. Now he was summoned, and so because he's summoned, no coin drops for him. This is the one that actually was there from the start, so I can get a coin from this guy, but that guy was summoned. So that's awesome. So I ended up wiping him out pretty easy. I get an XP for that, so I'll bump my XP up to 2. And then we're no point in immobilizing. And then we're going to do our shot against the cultist, so we hope that the same kind of result happens. +1, that's not bad. So we end up getting 4 damage, which is pretty solid hit, against the number 2 cultist. So now we've got 6 damage on him. So now it's up to the Cragheart to put just as much damage on him, hopefully. So that's that. And the cultist is now immobilized. Not that it matters, because he's probably not going to be doing much movement anymore. And that's it. These 2 cards are now going into the discard pile. And we move to the Living Spirit. So there is 1 Living Spirit left here. 2 of them, actually. This one will go first. He doesn't want to be muddled by being beside me, so he's gonna use his movement to move back 1 spot. That's how it works. They essentially just don't want to be next to you. So he's more than enough movement to do that move, even with the -1. He's going to attack me at a -1. So his attack, being a regular unit, is 3. Take away 1 is 2. And then we'll find out what he gets. 0. So he hits me for 2. So I will take that damage down to 7. And then he's going to muddle me, which is inconvenient because I'm just about to go. And then this guy over here is already in perfect distance and no disadvantage to shoot him, so no movement's needed. He'll just take a shot, same thing. 3 damage, take away 1 is 2. And nice, it's a null, so that means nothing happens to the Tinker. Perfect. Finally, that happened on the other side of the equation for once. But the Tinker is muddled as well for his next turn. All right, so then the Living Spirits are done. I keep calling them Living Bones. And then now we can go with the Cragheart. So the Cragheart is going to do his thing. This is where things get kind of fun. So now we have to remember that there's essentially a wall there. So what kind of sucks about this guy going first is that I wanted him to be here so I could push him into the trap. Now that he moved out of the way to become disadvantaged, or to no longer be disadvantaged when he took an attack against me, he could have moved anywhere, but he's obviously going to move here. He could have moved here too, but like I just put him back here. The thing that sucks is that nobody's here now to get pushed in, and I can't push. No, actually, I think I can push him in. And the reason I think I can is because it's one hex further away, and my line of sight is fine because I can see from a point here to a point there. So I think I can still push this cultist into this trap. So that's awesome. So let's do it. I thought for a second there I couldn't do it, but this whole area right here is open. And as long as one of the corners or one of the peaks kind of in the hexagon you can create a line between them, then you have line of sight. That's typically for range. For melee though, you just have to be adjacent. So it's a little bit, it's very interesting because they're kind of in between a wall, but they can still see each other. So I don't really know how that may pan out. I hope I'm not playing that wrong because that's an interesting situation. Let me just see really quick to see if there's anything about line of sight. I know that there is. Sorry guys, I'm just double checking this here. I want to try to make sure that I do this correctly. And I may not be able to do this correctly because I may not be able to find the rule in time to make you guys not go crazy waiting. Elemental infusion, active bonuses, round bonuses, recover, refresh, summon, experience, selection. Weird. Okay. Monsters from a range only. There's got to be a hero section here for ranged attacks. Area of effects, revealing a room, attack. Oh, here we go. Ranged attacks or attack. Ability allows them to do base amount of damage to an enemy within their range. Oh, so even a regular attack ability still considers to do its base amount of damage to an enemy within their range. Figures cannot attack allies. There are two types of attacks: melee and range. Melee attacks have no accompanying range value and are considered to have a default range of 1 hex, which means they typically target adjacent enemies. So, what makes this very difficult is that I don't think these are adjacent. And the reason I don't think they're adjacent is because there is a wall there. So there will be a wall right on the line which would sit across both the two corners, which allow me to not be able to do... I could do a ranged attack, but I could not do a melee attack right there. So I'm going to play that way. However, I can still do something in terms of attacking. So I can still use this for the bottom two to move. I could move, if I move to here, although it doesn't really do much for me, at least it gets me in the doorway. So that's fine, I'll stay there. So I'll use this for movement, and then I'm going to do a big attack, which is going to have a push, but it's not really going to be useful push to push them into a trap, sadly, but it'll still be a decent attack. So we'll do that attack and see what we get. I can't use my eagle eye goggles at the moment, which is too bad. So we'll kind of see what happens here. +1, nice. So we ended up getting 4. That's perfect because the other cultist has 6 damage on him, and now we have 6 on the other one. So now we're at 6 and 6, and they won't be able to heal. They're equal, so that's perfect. So that worked out really good. The push is there. I'm actually going to... Do I want to push him? Yeah, it's part of the attack, and I'm going to... I know I can optionally push. I'm going to do it, though. It's part of the heavy swing. I am going to shove him, though. I want to be able to do... I don't mind coming into the room with him. I'm going to be probably playing... I'm going to probably be messing around with him a little bit once I get in there. So that's fine. So we'll push him there, and then that'll be the end. So that's pretty much everything. Let me just make sure that I'm not forgetting anything here. Oh, I was muddled. Shoot. Let me do another card for that. On the Tinker, I should have taken that off. He was muddled and pulled 2. This guy, -1. Shoot. So that means only 5, which means we're at the end of the round. So this one will heal for 1. So now we have 5 and 5. So that's essentially their total damage. Oh, and shoot, we have to go with the cultist still too. So we are getting kind of close to the end of this video. I don't know if I'll be able to do the cultist in time, but we'll try really fast. So we got 2 5s on here. We're still going. The healing doesn't actually take place just yet. So there's a 6 and a 5. The cultists are going to summon living bones, which essentially we know is just more of these guys. So we're going to have another one of these. I'm going to have to go get another one because we've run out. But another one's going to spawn here. Another one will spawn here, let's say. And then both the cultists are going to suffer 2 damage, and that'll be the end of the round. So we're going to end up having 7 and 8, but we have to equal out at the end of the round, so it'll be 7 and 7. So we're almost there, guys. We just need to get to 13, and then we've got it. So we're doing okay. We're doing okay. The Craigheart's no longer muddled, and the cultist is no longer immobilized, even though he's not going to go anywhere anyway. And that's essentially it. So I'm going to go ahead and do some shuffling of all the decks. I'm going to wane this thing down. We're going to do a short rest in the next video for the Craigheart, and we'll pick it up where we are right now. All right, guys, so hope you're enjoying, and give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Keep rolling solo.